Hello and welcome back everybody to Everlasting Summer. Sovietgames is abandoned. We have no idea why, but we are going to find out right now. A strange anxiety had overwhelmed me at once. I looked at Genda and there... the city. There is no city. Yulia seemed to be surprised too. Surprised for real. So I didn't jump at her with questions. Having reached the camp leader's cabin, I stopped for a moment in hesitation. Images of possible events flashed before my eyes. However, I quickly pulled myself together. This is just some nonsense. There was nothing to support the idea of this science fiction story turning into a bloody thriller. I determinedly... If it is a thriller, be careful. Lena is a psycho. I determinedly pulled the door handle and entered the cabin. If somebody has nothing to do with his life, he may consider to make a compilation of me warning Semyon for Lena. By now it's probably the 500th time. Or something like that at least. No one was in sight. Well, no point in staying here then. I rushed to the cabin of Uliana and Alisa. Without dwelling on my thoughts, I knocked on the door. But only silence responded. I walked around the cabin and looked into the window. It was empty. Well, that doesn't mean anything. They might have gone... excuse me. My ultimate nightmare. You know what my ultimate nightmare is? Burping. I have a good story for that one. So, back in the day when I played theater in school, I always had the problem, and I think a lot of probably actors, real actors have that problem, I guess at least. I pretty fast get a dry throat and I drink something. But my ultimate nightmare was I drink something and then I need to burp on stage. And that would have been the worst. Like literally the worst. Luckily it never happened. And that is by one easy reason. I always drank 1 minute or something before I needed to go on to stage, and I did my best to burp beforehand. I ran to the canteen. Maybe everybody decided to have a late dinner. However, the door was locked. I went back to the square and dropped onto a bench, exhausted. Enough running, maybe? Yulia, who had followed me in silence, asked without much interest. Well, true. Why did I start panicking? Though, what if something actually had happened? Most likely something happened. Well, I'm hungry. I'll go look for something to eat. I didn't object, and in a moment, Yulia silently disappeared in the night. It's either some stupid prank, which was hard to believe, or everyone really has disappeared somewhere. The event itself isn't any stranger than my arrival here, or that mysterious city which showed up and then vanished, but... I had gotten used to this camp and its inhabitants. And now, such a twist. I'd more or less adapted to my new circumstances, and now something happens again. I cursed and covered my face with my hands. I would probably have sat like that for several minutes, until tears started to flow, but... my eardrums were only almost broken by a loud noise. What the fuck is happening now? Can we go Super Saiyan? It sounded like a thunderclap. But where did it come from? There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Oh, hey! So, this is like the dimension jumper right here. I opened my eyes and saw someone in front of me. You! I uttered, stammering. A thunderstorm rumbled in this clear sky, the lightning flashes obscuring the face of the man standing before me. Why the sad face, Semyon? Who are you? I shouted. Come down, don't have to get so tense. Nervous cells don't regenerate, you know. My first thought was to run, but my body didn't respond to that idea. Lightning was still flashing brightly, and there was no chance to see the pioneer's face clearly. However, I was sure that I had heard that voice before. Who are you? I asked in a quieter tone. Perhaps you have more appropriate questions? Where has everyone disappeared to? They have played their parts, and we don't need them anymore. Parts? What parts? They are parts. And what about the city? What city? I wasn't sure whether I caught a trace of surprise in his voice, or was just hearing things. The city there! I waved my hand in the direction of Gander. Ah, you are talking about... He went silent for a moment. It is your fault. I don't understand. It's because you don't try hard enough. The pioneer raised his voice. You just need to think. Just think. How long have you been here? 5 days? 6? Or 26? 6, probably. 6? Why 6? Are you sure about 6? Why are you sure? Because you counted the number of dusks and dawns, or because, whoops, sorry, you looked at the date on your mobile phone? I don't know. The pioneer before me lost his temper. I had no clue what he was talking about. 6. Okay, let it be 6, he said calmly. And haven't you been here before? No. Are you sure about that too? I don't know. And what if I say that you have been here before? I had absolutely no idea how to react to his words. Something was happening to me, like on the first day here. Something inexplicable, terrifying, and maybe dangerous. But I don't remember. Why do you have to remember? He fell silent, seemed lost in thought. However, you really don't remember. Well, I'll tell you then. I could hardly hear his words through the sound of thunder. My eyes were getting teary because of the lightning flashes, but I was afraid to even blink and give this pioneer a chance to disappear. He might really tell me how I turned up here. This is not the first time you've been here. I don't know how many laughs you have had, but it doesn't matter. But why? I don't remember anything. You should not remember. You should not, he shouted. Sorry. I decided not to interrupt him. Yes, it is not your first time here, he continued in a calmer voice. But this time is special. It will be the last one for you. I couldn't understand what his definition of the last was. Will I get out from here and return to my normal life? Or does it mean that I'll die here? Well, that's only my opinion. He went silent for a long time. I decided to ask a question at last. How do you know all this? Oh, let's say that I'm your brother, Misfortune, and... An explosion sounded nearby. It seemed like lightning struck a tree just a dozen meters away from me. I instantly covered my head with hands and fell beneath the bench. I don't know how long I was lying there, but by the time I had slightly recovered from the shock, those thunderclaps had stopped. And of course the pioneer is gone. Well done, Simeon! I opened my eyes. Yulia was standing where the pioneer had been standing before. I mean, I know how loud what do you call it? Fuck, we just had it. Lightning. I know how loud a lightning struck is when it's near to you. It's like the biggest explosion you have ever heard. But still, like, come on. Jumping under a bench? And you said it's... If it was the tree next to you, but you said it was near you, dozens of meters away, and you didn't even see it. Why do you jump under benches? So, you have met your colleague. She smiled and offered me a hand. Shocked, I didn't know what to do and kept lying down. How long are you planning to stay here? I stood up with difficulty. Who was that? If I have to choose the lesser evil, then I would rather trust Yulia than that mysterious pioneer. Well, how should I put it? She got lost in thought. You know, you're not the only one. To me, Okay, here we go. To be more precise, you're the only one here, but there are more of them of the same camp. Lots of them. And there are more of the same you. A lot of them. I didn't understand anything. Some of them can appear in other places. Like this pioneer, for example. So you knew all that, but didn't tell me. You didn't ask. She shrugged her shoulders. Should I be afraid of him? I don't think you should, although... Should I or should I not? My anxiety grew. I doubt that he can take a physical form, but you should be careful with him. I had received so much information at once that I would need more than a week to comprehend it all. Though, keeping all that in mind, I understood that this information doesn't explain anything at all. So, there are lots of people like me. Yes, but how did we get here? I don't have an exact answer for that question. I just know that it is you who came here. Just one person came here, to be more precise. Yulia now looked nothing like that strange girl with animal ears who was sprinkling sugar on mushrooms. She was the exact opposite. There was confidence in her eyes, and even some arrogance. No sign of her earlier childish infantilism. Not in this picture, though. Pfft. Who are you, then? Me? Yes. Honestly, I have no idea. I stared at her with an open mouth. How is that you have no idea? The only thing I remember is that I was there. I don't remember anything else. Like there was nothing else. I must watch you, all of you, and I exist in all camps simultaneously. After recovering from my shock, I continued. And you don't know who you are. Bingo! She laughed. But that is impossible. Well, I would understand amnesia, but all powerful beings can't have it. And who told you that I am all powerful? Are you not? Actually, I'm capable of nothing. I can't interfere with the natural flow of events. That is not true. One time you told Olga about me and Oyana, or about me and Slavia. One time you did something, I remember that. But didn't you know, or see? I know a bit of something. I saw a bit of something. And what will? Well, you know, I had no idea how to put the question. Nothing. Usually 7 days pass, and one of you leaves the camp. I would even say, disappear. Then a new one comes and everything repeats. The number of camps is constant. We spoke about this before. Disappears where? I don't know. That cannot be possible. You told me so much and... Do you think that I'm hiding something from you? No, I said exhausted. I guess I shouldn't doubt her words. At least for now. Maybe they don't disappear. They just go for another lap. I can't rule out that possibility, but I don't think they do. And what is happening to me now, then? Hey, but what is with the strange pioneer from the very first Semyon walk? From the Semyon ending? He has been on he knew everything and he was on multiple laps. I can't explain this either, but I know for sure that this was meant to happen. And this is something unusual. The course of events is different this time. The pioneer spoke about it too. You might know more than me, but how should I understand all of this? I sighed deeply and covered my head with my hands. I think we will find that out very soon. Okay, but finally, who are you then? Yulia pouted her lips. I told you before. So, do you have memory loss then? No. She thought for a moment. I don't have a memory at all, probably. There was no me before this camp. I didn't exist. But I didn't finish the sentence. Taking into account everything that has happened here, there was a lot I could only make assumptions about. And that means I should not be surprised by a girl with animal ears. Are you something like an observer here? Probably. I think that word is the most appropriate. And what about all the inhabitants disappearing after playing their parts? What are you talking about? The pioneer said that. Parts? She moved her ears in a funny way, making me smile. There is something to it, because only you are real here. I mean you, that pioneer, and all the other ones. How is that? I told you, I don't know. You can assume that I appeared with a limited amount of knowledge, nothing more. There are things that I'm not sure about, and there are things that I know more about than you. Fine. On one hand, her words seemed logical enough. If you can even talk about logic in such a situation. And what do you suggest to do next? To wait and see how things will turn out. Yes, you can't change anything, I mumbled. Anyway, it is dinner time. She smiled merrily and waved her tail. Didn't you go to look for something? I didn't find anything. I had no time. I saw the lightning and came back at once. Let's go. She went in the direction of the canteen. She'd better stick with me. It might be that there was no pioneer at all. And if I wasn't the only one who can see him, then there would be less grounds to doubt my sanity, which was not feeling very secure lately. Yulia sat down at the table and looked at me. So? What? Dinner. Yes, what about it? I yawned. The time was long past midnight. By the way, how did you open the canteen? You've got to have the skills. No need to continue with this topic. Maybe it's better to go to sleep. Cook! Now! She said in a dictatorial tone. Me? I don't see anyone else around. Okay. I slowly walked towards the kitchen. Because of all the talk of food, I suddenly felt hungry. I found a carton of eggs in the fridge and called out to Yulia, "Hey, how about scrambled eggs?" Well, maybe. I started cooking. Funny the way things turn out. Bizarre and incomprehensible events are happening to me, and yet I'm just standing here making dinner. Just hoping for the best. That's a typical Russian feature, yes. Nevertheless, I'm quite sure that nothing bad will happen. Why, do only Russian people hope for the best? I hope for the best as well. Oh well. And in case of unexpected... Maybe that is a saying. That would make sense. And in case of unexpected problems, Yulia will protect me. Although she says that she does not know much, in a critical moment I can certainly rely on her. There's simply nobody else to count on. Just yesterday nothing was up to me, but at least I had a slight idea what was happening. However, now, the only thing left to do is comfortably lean back in a chair and wait for the installation to be finished. I added grated cheese, mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and poured the well-stirred mess into the pan. I also found a salami in the fridge and a loaf of bread on the shelf next to it. Soon we were sitting in silence and eating scrambled eggs. Yummy, yummy. It's nothing special. Ordinary bachelor-style dinner. Never tried anything like this. Probably better than mushroom and nuts. That's enough, Yulia answered angrily. When we finished dinner, I said, "Tell me something about yourself. Though you probably have nothing to tell." Probably. How long have you been here? I don't know. A long time. But are you mostly human? Well, very likely. And how can you be at several places at the same time? It's hard to explain. I don't really understand it myself. Let's assume that here and now in front of you, I'm the only one. I could accept such an assumption. In the end, although the fact that Yulia had many faces was just one mystery among many others happening here, it was definitely not the main one. At least that is what I thought. Well, let's assume that. And what do you know about the world? I can read and write, if that is what you mean. She laughed. No, not exactly that. Do you know where the camp is located? No. Then maybe you know that I'm not from here, not from this time, not from this reality. Well, I know, but not any details. And if I ask you what the year is now, I can't answer. I took a deep breath and stared out of the window. In general, you can assume that there are some things I know more about than you, and some I know less. So, what should we do? As I told you before, just wait. Wait, and what are we gonna do? What do you wanna do? I don't know, but forgive me, I don't feel like climbing trees. Okay. Then maybe you will tell me something about yourself. Not now. As you wish. So what then? I don't know. Maybe just sit and wait. I don't mind. But that is so boring. I don't see any alternatives. So let's go. Come on. She thought for a while. I looked keenly at Yulia. Looks like she really finds everything happening here amusing. Moreover, the current situation doesn't seem strange to her. According to her, there is nothing unusual about it. You know, everything that is happening is not quite normal to me. I don't even understand why I'm not currently hiding somewhere under my bed, trembling at every sound. It turns out you are brave. I said nothing, but merely smiled. I've got an idea. I looked at her with interest. No, I forgot it again. Yulia scratched her cat ears. Just remembered. Let's go swimming. Now I stared at her in disbelief. Maybe it would be better to go to sleep. Oh, come on, she pouted. Indeed, the day had been hot and I was soaked with sweat. It's much easier to fall asleep in this heat when you are clean. Also, we probably also need some kind of sex scene. Okay, let's go. A few minutes later we were at the beach. I lazily sprawled on the sand and looked at the river. I immediately felt completely exhausted. You know, I don't actually like swimming. Meaning you don't know how to swim? Yulia sat next to me. Well, it's not that I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The pioneers, fine. But how could the whole town disappear? I told you before, I don't know. Let's go swimming. I don't want to. I never like to reveal that I'm a lousy swimmer. Oh, come on, stop it. You can splash in the water near the shore. Okay, wait. I'll get my swimming trunks. But Yulia seemed to not hear me and started to undress. Oh, what? Are you going to swim like that? Yes, anything wrong with that? I turned away. I turned away at the right time. Aren't you shy? I tried to speak as calmly as possible, but the reason I did not look at her was because my face was burning, rather than out of politeness. Shy about who? You? She laughed. You know what? I turned around. Yulia was already in the water up to her neck. Come here. I decided that nothing bad would happen if I stayed in my underwear. I undressed and entered the water. Ugh, it is cold. Move around and you'll get warm, like me. Ona начала прыгать в воде и махать руками. I still felt awkward. I can understand that after that sentence that meant probably something not that important, but still. You've gone rat, Yulia said excitedly. Of course I am. Next to me there is a naked girl. Or at least a female humanoid. And that is enough. Yes, of course, I told you. I explained to you, and I don't understand really, though. I turned around and at the same moment I felt Yulia hug me. Is this also part of your program? I understand that I was saying complete nonsense, but nothing more. By the way, isn't Semyon a bit buff? For the fact that he just sits in his room and does nothing all day? But he is in a parallel universe. Maybe his 17-year-old himself was buff. But nothing more meaningful was coming to my head. What? Well, it's, you know... Suddenly I realized that I was being hugged from behind by a naked, omnipotent being which is able to exist in multiple realities simultaneously. My brain was instantly overloaded by errors about the lack of system resources. Here it is, a blue screen of death. My legs buckled, and I started to go under the water. Yulia held me up. There's no need to drown yourself. She was still hugging me. I felt it even stronger. What are you going to do? Swim, obviously. So that means you're not suggesting anything. I tried to say it with a calm expression, but it did not turn out very well. Like what, for example? Well, even though you don't remember much, you essentially behave quite reasonably. So you should understand. Well, I don't know, she said slyly. Suddenly, I felt something twisting around my thighs. What? I tried to pull myself away, but Yulia held me tight. Also, motion physics in the water are very different from on the land. It's just my tail. Ah, okay. I see. I was already wondering what is happening. Semyon's thing can't be reaching to his thighs. Me and my perverted brain. A tail. Don't you find it strange that you have it at all? What? You don't like my tail? If you step on my tail, then you're gonna get hurt. Wait a minute. I paused for a moment, trying to phrase the thought I just had. So, you've seen that series too? Oh, that's a reference. I don't get it, sorry. What series? The one you just quoted. It's just... She suddenly stopped and thought. Don't people say that? Some kind of saying? So you don't know where it's from? No. And who cares? Yulia laughed. Her tail continued to probe my body. Could it be that Yulia still has memories about her time before the camp? Maybe they are hidden somewhere, or suppressed. She got that quote somehow. Of course, maybe she heard from it from one of the pioneers. But isn't it too early for that show to even exist? The only conclusion is that Yulia seems to be a prisoner in the camp, the same as I. Just a more mysterious one. What heck has happened next happened by itself. Of course it did. Even if I was going to do what the danger is, even then I'm a red-blooded man. But a strange one. I mean, okay. With the girls it was usually you drank with Alisa, you did it. Okay. You were with Alisa with Slavia in the woods, you did it. Okay. The Lena thing was awkward, I don't understand that, but okay. And you didn't do it with Ulyana at all, which I am very thankful about. But this one, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this one doesn't make any sense. In this situation, I don't buy it. Ah, wow, wow. What the fuck? The things get more visual with every time. Wait a minute, let me look at that again. Is that fucking... This... For the... I can't even. I can't even. I hope I closed my fucking jaw. You could... Let's see, let's put it like this. Semyon doesn't care about the fact that he's probably going to impregnate, make a cat girl pregnant. At that moment, Yulia was not an all-powerful being to me. I was holding an ordinary girl in my arms. I brought the sleeping Yulia to my cabin. She was surprisingly light. I put her in a bed, collapsed beside her and closed my eyes. But all my attempts to get to sleep failed. I felt a terrible thirst. Quietly, so as not to wake Yulia up, I got out of bed, pulled on my shorts and went outside. On the way to the washstands, I thought about everything that happened. And you probably meet the mysterious pioneer once again. I see no reason why Yulia's not with you then. That is most like, I mean, speculation, but still. I didn't care about whether it was right or not. No, that wasn't the main issue. I decided that I just didn't have any other choice in that situation than to fuck her. More important are the possible consequences. Even if Yulia was a little different, we could say she was closer to her, what? Just because she knows more than me, which means, however blindly assuming or drawing conclusions about it's difficult task, I was sure. What? Yeah, but why did you do that then? I don't understand. I quenched my thirst and washed myself. I was going back to the camp leader's cabin, whistling a piece from Per Gynt by Grieg, when somebody called out to me. How did you do? I jumped on the spot, turned and saw the silhouette of that pioneer. You, sir, are way less frightening without your old music. I would consider, if I were you, I would consider, taking your old theme back. This one is really not nearly as dangerous and creepy. There was no chance of seeing his face clearly in this darkness. So, it's you again. Who, me? Not in the sense that I'm the one. The one that you have already seen, but in the sense of who in fact I am? What? I don't understand. I remembered that Yulia told me that he can't do me any physical harm, and I calmed down a bit. Oh, whatever. Besides, I saw how you were getting it on back there. That gave me the heebie-jeebies. No matter how fantastic a situation is, it is always frustrating when you're caught doing something so intimate. Didn't anyone ever tell you that it's not nice to spy on people? You're upset. No, why would I be? I snorted and half turned towards him, trying in vain to see his face. And what has that cat-eared one told you? She has a name. I felt a strong attachment to Yulia, so I didn't hesitate to stand up for her. How you developed that one, though, I am not 100% positive, but hey, a name. And what is it? An almighty observer? A double-faced Janus? Yulia, I said a bit uncertainly. A lot of Greek mythology. There are a lot of references in this game, or stuff that not everybody gets, like quotes from Voltaire, all of these science fiction stuff, and now the double-faced Jan. I mean, that is philosophy, Greek mythology. That is like some stuff not everybody gets. Interesting that they put that in. I said a bit uncertainly. Yulia! He started laughing like a horse on meth. And who gave it to her? You probably. Fine, tell me what you want and get lost. Okay, your majesty. Just don't be angry. He bowed awkwardly. The sight was so grotesque that I even shuddered. And what has the so-called Yulia told you? I decided there was no point in hiding the information I had found out recently. She told me that there are many other camps, that you are the same as me, and that after 7 days we leave and never come back. It was disgusting for me to be in the same boat as him, but a fact was still a fact. Yes, that is about right. And what did she tell you about herself? Do you think it's any of your business? Besides, surely you know everything without me. Yes, I know something. I've dealt with her before. The stone was so disgusting that I didn't even want to continue this conversation. Well, if you have nothing more to... No, wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. Now what? Want me to tell you what she's hiding from you? Go on. I was sure that Yulia had no secrets from me. Semyon. But in my situation, any information could be useful. Never come back? No, they do come back. And you come back. At least you did before. I don't understand. I did tell you that you had already been here. So after 7 days, it doesn't matter whether you leave on a bus or fall asleep in the forest. You will find yourself sitting in the 410 again. But how? She told you that we just disappear, right? I did not answer. Well, I can't be sure she is lying. Maybe she just doesn't know everything. But what I said is true. You and I were here many times. Of course, I've been here more times, but that doesn't matter. Okay, then why I don't remember anything? You will remember them all sometime later. That is what happened to me. And you're telling me there is no escape from here. Yes, I am. I remember you told me what happened today had never happened before, right? True, this is the first time. And how can you explain that? I won't. You're hoping that something will change? No way it will. We'll see about that. I decisively turned and walked away. To my surprise, the pioneer did not even try to stop me. Well, let's have a break here. Ah, my throat. Killing me. Oh well. So, thank everybody for watching. I think this time I'll go to bed now. The rest we will do tomorrow. But I mean, doesn't matter for you, but that does matter for me. Because I really want to know what happens, but I can't anymore. Now I really can't. So, as mentioned, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.